In order to solve this problem, we need to factor both the numerator and the denominator of this fraction individually, and then ideally what's going to happen is some things are going to be able to cancel each other out. So let's start by looking at the numerator. Since we have 4 terms, I think the easiest way to factor this would be to factor it piecewise. So we're going to separate it into 2 sections. So first is the x cubed plus 2x squared. So if I take out the greatest common factor they share, I would be taking out x squared, and I would be left with x plus 2. Then if we factor, if we look at minus 9x minus 18, between those 2 terms, we can factor out a 9. So we're going to subtract 9, and we'll be left with x plus 2. And I'll be really careful there that it's plus, because we're factoring out, well, we're really factoring out negative 9. And then looking at our denominator, I can see we can factor out an x. They all have an x factor we can eliminate, or factor out, I mean. And we'd be left with x squared minus x minus 6. Great. Now we can move on to factoring this a bit further. Notice in the numerator, we have a common factor of x plus 2. So if we factor out x plus 2, then beside that in brackets, we'll write out what we're left with, x squared minus 9. In our denominator, let's try and factor x squared minus x minus 6. So we're looking for 2 numbers whose product is negative 6 and their sum is negative 1. So that would be negative 3 and positive 2. So I can see already we've got some things we can cancel out here. I've got an x plus 2 in the numerator and the denominator. But we're not done. X squared plus minus 9 can also be factored because that's a difference of squares. So let's go and do that. So x squared minus 9 becomes x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 3. And in our denominator, we've still got x multiplied by x minus 3. So as I predicted here, we got some more things we can cancel out. X minus 3 and x minus 3 will be gone. And what we'll be left with is x plus 3 over x. And that's as far as we can go. We can see that matches option number 3. All right, hope that was helpful, and thanks for visiting JD's Preparation.